Welcome to lecture 2.3, Infinite Limits and Limits at Infinity. In this video, we will discuss first about the infinite limits, and for the second part, we'll discuss about limits at infinity. Consider the function f of x is equal to 1 over x plus 2. By example 4 of lecture 1.3, domain and range of a function, the domain of f of x is the set of x such that x is an element of the open interval from negative infinity to negative 2, union the open interval from negative 2 to positive infinity, or in simpler representation, the domain is simply the set of x such that x is not equal to negative 2. Why so? If x is equal to negative 2, f of x would have not existed. The question is, how does f of x behave as x approaches x is equal to negative 2 from the left and from the right? This is the graph of f of x is equal to 1 over x plus 2. As you can see, we have here an invisible vertical asymptote, which is x is equal to negative 2. These are the observations on the f of x. F of x decreases without bound as x approaches negative 2 from the left. It decreases without bound, meaning to say the y value or the f of x itself approaches negative infinity when x approaches negative 2 from the left. Second, f of x increases without bound as x approaches negative 2 from the right. As you can see, our graph approaches positive infinity, or in other words, f of x increases without bound. So that is symbolically f of x approaches infinity when x approaches negative 2 from the right. Let's have the following definition. Let f of x be a function defined on an interval containing x is equal to a except possibly at x is equal to a. This is definitely an example of that definition. Our function is not defined at x is equal to negative 2. We have the following. A, f of x decreases without bound as x approaches a. Symbolically, the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to negative infinity. And then second, f of x increases without bound as x approaches a. Symbolically, the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to positive infinity. Warning, technically, infinite limits do not exist since infinity is not a real number. So recall from our previous lecture video, infinity is just a concept or a representation of a very, very large number. And for negative infinity, a representation of a very, very, very small number. Here in discussing infinite limits, we are just describing the behavior of f of x as it approaches x is equal to a from either direction. Let's have the following theorems on infinite limits. Let f of x and g of x be functions of x. Let a be a real number. Also, let L sub 1 be the limit of f of x and L sub 2 be the limit of g of x, both as x approaches a. Number 1, if L sub 1 exists and L sub 2 is positive, negative, infinity, then the sum of the two limits is equal to positive or negative infinity. Second, if L sub 1 exists and L sub 2 is positive or negative infinity, then the difference of it would be negative, positive infinity. Take note that L sub 2 is larger than L sub 1. So definitely when we subtract them, the sign of L sub 2 would dominate. Third, if L sub 1 is positive infinity and L sub 2 is positive infinity as well, then the sum of them would be positive infinity. Fourth, if L sub 1 is positive infinity and L sub 2 is negative infinity, then the sum of them would be positive infinity, and the difference would be negative infinity. Fifth, let C be a real number except 0. Suppose L sub 1 is equal to C, and L sub 2 is positive or negative infinity. Then the product of them would be L sub 1 times L sub 2, positive or negative infinity if C is positive, and negative or positive infinity if C is negative. So it depends on the sign of L sub 1. Warning, this one, we want to emphasize this: infinity minus infinity is not equal to 0. Why is that? Take note that infinity is just a representation of a very large number. We cannot say what the value of that is. So definitely, this infinity may have a different value than this one. So we cannot assume that the difference of them is 0. Additionally, let's have the following theorems. Let n be a positive integer. Let u be a function of x, and let a be a real number. Suppose that the denominator u raised to n is equal to 0. For the first theorem, we have the limit of 1 over u raised to n as x approaches a from the right. This one will be positive infinity. And if the limit of 1 over u raised to n as x approaches a from the left would be negative infinity if n is odd, or positive infinity if n is even. To better understand this, let u be equal to x. Then the following theorem becomes the limit of 1 over x raised to n as x approaches 0 from the right, that would be positive infinity. So regardless whether n is odd or even. So remember that rational functions behave like this. Okay, suppose that we have here y is equal to 1 over x, and additionally, let's have, okay, this one is 1 over x squared. Okay. You can see that the limit of 1 over x raised to n, 1 over x, and 1 over x squared would be the same as their x approaches 0 from the right. So this is it. So both approach positive infinity. However, for the left-hand limit, this would be different. The limit of 1 over x raised to n as x approaches 0 from the left would be negative infinity if n is odd, or positive infinity if n is even. Okay, just like this one. The other branch of 1 over x is located at the third quadrant. So meaning to say, the y here is negative. So as x approaches 0 from the left, you can see that our y approaches negative infinity. On the contrary, for 1 over x squared, when x approaches 0 from the left, it approaches positive infinity. Let's have the first example. Find the limit if it exists. Letter A, the limit of 1 over x plus 2 as x approaches negative 2 from the right. This one would definitely be positive infinity. Graphically, you can see that it approaches positive infinity as x approaches negative 2 from the right. Next, the limit of 1 over x plus 2 as x approaches negative 2 from the left. So we are talking about this. It approaches negative infinity. We apply this for letter A, and we apply this for letter B. So our u is x plus 2. So this is raised to positive 1. Next, for letter C, the limit of 1 over x plus 2 as x approaches negative 2. It's an ordinary limit, two-sided limits. we can say that this does not exist. Simply because our right hand and left hand limits also do not exist. Whenever we say positive infinity or negative infinity, technically they don't exist. We just describe the behavior of f of x. The limit of the quantity x minus 1 over 1 minus x as x approaches 1 from the right. Right, for simplicity, let us try to manipulate first. Let us try to manipulate first the given. So we will express this as x plus 1 over x minus 1. So, okay, this would be the same if the negative sign here would be distributed to the denominator. So that would be the same, and the sign here would be plus. Okay. Now, we will distribute the limit operator. So we have the limit of x as x approaches 1 from the right, and then plus the limit of 1 over x minus 1 as x approaches 1 from the right. The first limit does exist because we have the limit of x only. However, the second one would not exist, and that would be infinity. Okay, this would be 1 plus infinity. Okay, 1 plus a very large number would be a very large number as well. So the answer here is infinity. Next, we have the limit of the quantity 1 over x times the quantity x squared minus 4x plus 1 as x approaches 0 from the left. Okay, here we will also distribute the limit operator. So using the theorem of limit, wherein we can distribute the limit operator to the factors, and then we just simply multiply the limits, the individual limits. Okay, here we will have the first one would be negative infinity, and then the second one would be positive 1. So negative infinity times positive 1, that would be negative infinity. Next, we have the limit of 3 over x minus 1 times the quantity x squared minus 4 as x approaches 1 from the left. Okay, for this, we can also express this as a product. So sometimes it's easier for us to split the given. So we have 1 over x minus 1, and then the other one would be 3 over x squared minus 4 as x approaches 1 from the left. Okay, for the first limit, we have negative infinity using the theorem on infinite limits. And then the next one is 3 over 1 minus 4, negative 3, so negative 1. Negative infinity times negative 1, both negative, so that would be positive infinity. Next, we have here the limit of the quantity x over 2 minus x minus 1 over 1 minus x squared. Okay, we have here a binomial, two terms, x over 2 minus x and the other one. So we just simply distribute the limit operator. By intuition, we know that the first limit exists. However, the other one would not be existing. Okay, so we will do algebraic manipulation again on the sign. Actually, we can solve this already. 1 over 2 minus 1, that is positive 1. And then for this, let us manipulate the sign. 1 over x squared minus 1. Okay, so this would be 1 plus positive infinity. So the answer is positive infinity. Last example, we will use the theorems on limits, just like what we did earlier on the following. First, we have the limit of 5 over the quantity x minus 5 raised to 4 as x approaches 5 from the right. Okay, so using the theorems of limit, this, when the power is even, and it is a right-hand limit, automatically that is positive infinity. Next, Rn is even, so this is positive infinity as well for the left-hand limit. And then for the letter C, Rn is equal to 13, and this is a left-hand limit. This one would be negative infinity. Always look at the degree or the highest powered variable on the denominator. You have reached the end of the discussion of infinite limits. You are strongly encouraged to answer the exercises at the end of this video courseware. Thank you.